Hi, welcome back. Troy McGinnis, deliverytower.com. Again, I'm continuing my journey through looking at the developer productivity tools. In this case, I'm going to start looking at Swarmia, swarmia.com. Let's take a look. So their homepage, the gap between good and great software is growing. Good teams use AI to make individual engineers faster. Great teams use Swarmia to get speed all the way into production. So not a bad hero, no image. So I don't really know what they could do with an image there. I'm not sure what they would put there. Showing the companies which are using them, engineering intelligence you can trust, measure the impact of AI tools, deliver cross-team initiatives, balance engineering investments, capitalize software development costs, improve pull request flow, run developer experience surveys. All right, that's very good. Now, I did register and log in. It's telling me I need to set this up. First, I just wonder if, yeah, it's got the ability to see this stuff, finding answers, but doesn't have again, it doesn't have demo data. So I can't, that I can see. Yeah, it doesn't have demo data, so I really have to connect my teams and my data before I get to see anything that's in there. So yeah, so we're stuck by looking at the homepage. Again, if you're making these tools, let us start with some sample data rather than use our own, because there's so much friction in getting started. All right, so let's go through each of these areas. Measure the impact of AI in your engineering organization. That's good. Again, this is the third tool that we've looked at so far where they look at AI impact based on the tool. Cursor, Copilot, Claude Code. I guess in the early days, that was important to see that people were going from using no tool to using a tool, or which ones, if they bought their own, they were using. But this is not going to age well, is it? And it sort of really matters that those that are not using any tool, and then it matters which model they're using. You want to see that stuff. So seeing that trend over time, good that they're showing the trend over time. Color selection makes it look like I shouldn't be using Claude Code because it's orange, but I know that Claude is that they're using the company colors. That's fine. I don't know what using multiple tools, more than tools. I guess it's by team. They're all going to be multiple tools, so that multiple tools is going to be pretty high. And again, it's not really showing me a lot that I can use. Cycle time. Cycle time of what? It doesn't say. Good to see. It's showing the average over time. What do these do? With AI, without AI? Yeah, again, can you compare the two? I guess the assumption is that, again, if we assume that some teams are just avoiding using AI, then we want to encourage them to use AI. Maybe that's driving that behavior. Not certain what value is of the average is. And I guess it's for multiple teams, or is it just the teams we've chosen up here? And it's pull requests. So this is pull request cycle time. Time to first review. That's not bad. Again, the segmentation of with AI, without AI. Good in the early days, would date very quickly. Sending surveys, I use AI tools most of my programming work. Drive adoptions across teams. I guess if you were moving from Claude Code or from Cursor to Claude Code or Copilot, maybe. It's unlikely that nothing gets through without AI being used somewhere. So I'm not sure what constitutes a PR being flagged as being built by one of these. Is it just one commit in there has a flag in it, or is it all commits, or is Was it a big change? Optimize for impact. As long as impact is cycle time, batch size, or time to first commit, there's nothing there of sort of saying that this is a very valuable piece of work. Optimize for costs. Power users, active users, new users, idle users, unlicensed. Okay, what I like about this chart is it's above and below the line. So these are the ones that you want to deal with, and these are the ones which are doing what you want. So very good chart selection, very good trend over time. Is your goal to make everyone a power user of AI? And does that mean that there are some teams who are working in legacy code which they should not or cannot use AI to do their work? If you were doing code that worked on the amount of radiation emitted from a CT scan machine or something like that, or a radiotherapy machine, you would sort of may want to limit the amount of AI code developed. So I can see why they're showing it. And again, to getting adoption running in a company. But I think that was a 2025 problem, not a 2026, 27 problem. Start measuring AI coding use today. All right, so that's where we are on that one. Not bad. Deliver cross-team initiatives. Okay, I like this. I like where this is heading. Progress per month. Contribution. So what they seem to be doing here is grabbing work out of Jira and showing that work is flowing in each of those areas. Forecast completion, completed plan, flow efficiency, 51%. It's unusually high, so I'm not certain that's measured correctly. Your flow efficiency really should be down around 15 to 16%. So I'm not sure what that flow efficiency is referenced to, and I can't hover here. Contribution, new things. So this is the assumption that this is where they don't have a so what. I know what the contribution is here to new things, and I see a flag saying it's on track and it's 87% complete for the payments feature. What I don't see here is what's the target for new things. I just see that new things are there. So again, the what, the so what, and now what. This is really hard to grab a so what out of any of these values. The what it is could do with some improving, but again, that's only because I can't hover over these and understand what it is. Get full visibility in team status, progress initiatives. See all your initiatives at a glance. I think with AI engineering, larger initiatives that which used to be planned and budgeted for start disappearing because a smaller group of people can deliver an initiative much faster. The need to manage the cost controls for those and really fine-tune allocation towards planned work is probably going to be a declining problem. I don't see that being the issue in the future. I don't think budgeting is going to go away, and I think we should become particularly good at choosing what work we're going to do that maintains strategy and further strategy while maintaining the platform as a whole. But I'm just not certain that tracking a long-term initiatives is going to be a growing problem that we have. I think we're going to naturally use AI to drive down the size of initiatives, and those initiatives are going to have a much more targeted value allocated to strategy. So this type of tracking, I think, is going away. Estimate the end date for your initiatives. Again, it's sort of talking about how far in the future this is going to be. And again, this is the screenshots sort of are from data back in July, and I can sort of see in 2025. So that's where this would have worked. So yeah, cross-team initiatives, I think, is a declining problem. Now let's look at the balancing your engineering investments. Again, this comes out of the need that if you're going to be having 10 teams of 7 people working on something, that's going to cost you a pretty penny. So you better make sure that the time is being spent in the right spot. Second. I have to turn my phone off. All right, so back again. So new things, improvements. TLO. I'm not sure what that is. Productivity improvements. All right. Okay. First of all, your legend has to be in the same order as your chart data. So see, we've got new things here at the top. What's at the bottom over here? So if you're going to put your legend beside a stack chart, make sure the legend order and the stack chart order line up. What I'm seeing here, I'm seeing what the show investments in full-time employees percentage allocated towards each of the pieces of work. I don't know, looking at this, what the target is. I just know what it is. So it's hard for me to know whether this was what I wanted. So different people are going to look at this chart and have a different so what feeling about it. So it's showing data without an indication of what it should be. I would like to know what the target is. And they're showing the balance down here. I guess that's going to be the same as the one up here. Good that they've used similar colors. There needs to be an extra one on the end here. I'm not sure what that is. But horizontally shown here, vertically shown there. I am not sure that this is definitely trying to encourage people to move towards doing new things. Is that because it's selected? It might be just because it's selected that it shows new things here. But, just be careful. People are going to try and take the largest one and make it larger, and take the smallest one and make it smaller. And choice of color. The red color there makes it look like that's bad. So if you're working on that, then we should minimize the investment in that. And productivity, it's hard to know. What we just didn't invest in productivity, or is this a partial period? Who knows? Again, I can't tell from where they're at. Slice data in different ways. Yeah, good planned, unplanned work. Seems like as long as that's allocated correctly, and again, declining problem. With AI engineering, we can pick up unplanned work, and if it's valuable, we should do it. We shouldn't penalize people for doing high value unplanned work just because it wasn't part of the plan. The plan should adapt. That's the whole idea of agile. What are we doing here? Again, legend in a different order than the chart. Don't do that. It seems like the one they've selected. Color again. I don't want to do KTLO. I don't want to be on that team. I don't know what it is, but we certainly don't want to do it because it's red. It's alarming. The choice of colors here is not very useful. It's going to look like a disco, isn't it, with all the different colors. I don't know how they would solve that, but it might work for 4 or 5, but we're starting to hit the limits now. And again, the color saturation for the yellow and the red and the green and the blue, the light blue, they're not the same. And one of them stands out more than the other. So they need to change the saturation. Understand the real cost of engineering work, number of people for doing a piece of work. I guess it's good to know we're over-investing in some areas or under-investing in others. But as a bit late, is this when after you spent it, or is this the planning? This is the new things in the backlog. I know it was a big issue, and I know that we regret paying for it, but that cost is probably just for the number of people and the teams and the carrying costs. I bet those teams weren't only working on that work at that period of time, so there's going to be a lot of double counting of these costs. Zoom in and zoom out. Again, if you're going to choose examples, make those examples either feature 1, feature 2, so it's obviously meaningless, or don't use these internal acronyms. KTLO, I don't know what that means. All right. Again, declining problem. Measuring the impact of AI tools is an increasing problem. Software capitalization, I'm going to leave that for the moment. I'm not sure. It's going to be a problem that exists, but not one that I think is really useful for developer metrics. So I'm going to leave that for the moment. To a different color palette. We've gone from, oh no, this is, changed. This is the color for the vendor. Again, model is more important than the vendor, so I don't know exactly why they're showing those. Time to first review, cycle time. Engineering managers are going to see deployment frequency, change lead time. So these are the DORA metrics. Not bad for DORA metrics, but remember, um, no customer value is in there. No, so it's they're all outputs and sort of regrets. So change failure rate is a regret metric. Mean time to recovery is a regret metric. The others are more about are we delivering and integrating incrementally into production? And that is good. I think with AI engineering, that is natural and it's going to change and it's going to be the default. So I think where the DORA metric used to encourage smaller, more frequent releases, I think AI engineering just causes that to occur in its own right. So I see smaller, more frequent changes and releases happening anyway. Software engineering, what are we looking at here? Get your code reviews faster and never let PRs fall through the cracks again. In progress, review. It's about doing the right pull requests and reviewing the risky pull requests manually and letting the automated pull requests and the low risk ones go through with automated delivery, There's going to be a mix and blend, right? Everyone's going to be using pull request review tools, and that's going to be natural. And that's going to find problems. And now your job is to make sure that those problems don't get found for similar work next time. I'm not sure how this is causing that to occur. It's looking at the output metrics that are available, throughput, the time, not entirely leading, projected cycle time. And there's no relationship between, if it is a high risk area of code, I am really good with it taking longer to go through the review process. If we're just accelerating and reducing the cycle time of reviews, but we're seeing a lot of failures in production, then I'm not willing to make that trade. So without a quality metric here, this isn't overly useful. I want to know what was the cause of the delay, not just that there was a delay. So I'm not sure that this is helping improve the process. I think it's just documenting what's happening, which is a good starting point. Don't get me wrong, but I'd like to see it improve. Run surveys to measure the impact. Good. This is sort of trying to drive change and getting people to collaborate at the coalface. I like it. Finance teams. Again, it comes to the fact of work capitalization of software, and it only looks at the amount of invested in the teams and the people doing the work. I think, where does the AI pricing start moving into that? Where was I there? Run developer experience surveys. So that's where we're at on this stuff. Couple of strong defaults. Oh, look, they fix it. The order of the legend here is in the order of the chart. Nice work. Someone fixed that. Heat maps at a very low level. The AI, okay, they're making the nice implementation. I like the fact that they're doing that, and they're bringing the data up and they're inlining the data. I think this sort of conversational analytics is going to be the way things are heading. Custom reports, it's the way to get across sales objections. We have this report already. Can you reproduce it? So all these tools are going to have custom reports sort of built in. MCP service, being able to talk to this data from whatever other coding tool you have, whether that's being Claude or Codex. Yep, I mean, this is what's going to happen, right? I mean, we're going to be adopting an internal business AI coding, AI conversational engine, and this is making this data available to a lot broader people. Yeah, it's not bad. All in all, let's look at the pricing. $45, we're really getting up to $55. And then you've got the AI adoption and cost charge sort of extra, again, by tool. Again, I'm not sure that that's the right way of doing it. Software capitalization is all extra on top of that. So, yeah, similar pricing to the others, I suppose. It's free for companies with up to 9 developers. Can't beat that. But the metrics themselves are integration. Yeah, overall, not bad.